There we go. First fish on the new, you know what, do I even net this thing? Not even gonna net him. But man, there it is. Beautiful little brown trout. So it is 70 degrees today, and I'm just out at a little stream, mainly making a video to test out and review the new St. Croix Trout Series rod. This just dropped this year, and I needed a new trout rod anyway. Wanted to get something a little nicer for as much as I'm doing it, obviously, and yeah, decided on this. I paired it up with a, I think this is just the Bass Pro Shops series. It's like the Micro Light Elite or something. A 10-pound braid on it with a 8-pound fluoro leader. But this fishing rod right here is like pretty impressive. I'll be completely honest, I've never been one to buy like top of the end fishing rods. To me, it doesn't always seem worth it, but that first one with braided line, feeling that hit and that hook set on this was pretty dang awesome, let me tell you that. So this video is really just giving a review about this rod, showing you some more details, and hopefully catch some fish along the way. I know that it's like 150 bucks for the rod, so obviously before you buy it you're probably wanting to do some research, so hopefully this video helps you out. I'll give an honest review of what I think. Geez, 2 casts later I just hooked a really nice fish. Absolutely slapped it. This warm water has got these fish fired up. That is a good one right there. This one I will net. Oh my goodness gracious. That is awesome. Okay, I'm in love. I am in love. That was just way too much fun. That fish absolutely hammered it. I'm used to using like a medium action rod for my trout that had like the broken off tip. Get this pretty fish back. I can't even imagine what a 20 inch is gonna feel like on this rod. Well, I'd say it's always a good sign when you catch 2 fish in like 3 casts right next to the bridge. And the sun is still out, which early season, that's a good thing, I suppose. They're probably getting fired up. It's like I said, it's 70 degrees today and it's March, so that's awesome. Both of those fish I caught on a spinner that I actually tied up last night. Just a copper blade, and just a treble, not dressed. Here's a better look of that spinner I just caught these fish on. That copper blade is putting off a lot of flash right now. If you're new to this channel or you're not aware, I sell my own, I make and sell my own spinners. I call them driftless spins. So I have tons of options available. If you ever want me to hook you up with an order, just reach out to me or email me. The info is in the description below. I also have never used braided line before trout fishing, but after the hook sets that I got on those first 2, I can't imagine ever using a different type of line because that was awesome. My fluoro leader I think is a little too long. Like I'm definitely having to reel past the tip, which might not be good for the guides. Lure keeper right there. Once again, this is the 6-foot ultralight fast action. So it's carbon. It says you can rig it up between 2 to 6 pound test, and should be throwing fairly lighter lures. That's one thing where for some of the bigger browns I target, like probably could have got a heavier rod, but honestly catching them on ultralights is so fun. The handle is like a plastic. I'm not gonna lie, it has maybe like a cheaper feel than I was expecting. So I know some people like the actual cork more on the handle. It's a split handle, but This is just plastic and foam, although even though it might feel like cheaper, some might say, is when you're trout fishing and you're constantly like in the water and your hands are wet. One nice thing about this is it's probably going to be more durable, whereas cork can kind of get torn up and stuff. So I'm going to walk downstream and then fish all this back up. Hopefully it wasn't just a fluke where those fish were by the bridge. Oh my gosh, look how juicy that looks. I can't wait to fish that. I think one of the biggest mistakes that trout fishermen make, though, is fishing downstream. Like, if you're fishing downstream, all that sediment and that mud that you're kicking up, that's drifting right down to the fish below you, kind of messing them up. So as much as it sucks, I choose to make the walk first, walk downstream, so then I can fish my way back to the car. I mean, I've done it the other way, where you know, fish upstream right away, but then you get done fishing and you're tired and you have to walk back. This way your walk is filled with excitement and adrenaline. So I'll hop in here eventually. In the stream on a 70-degree March day, trying to catch some trout. There's one. Man, these hooks I put on these spinners are so sharp. Oh, there's number 3. Nice little trout. So this rod is a 2-piece rod. I know some people probably like a 1-piece, but for me, I was like, you just never know if you're backpacking or something. I mean, even that walk I did, I could have broken that thing down to just have less of a chance that it would, oh my gosh. Could have broken it down to just, you know, make it even easier walking through all that brush. Jeez, dude. Just absolutely crushed them. Come here, buddy. Boat flipping. Ooh. This looks juicy right here. Gotta be careful not to spook them right here, though. Holy shit. That thing just ripped it out of my hand. Oh my God. I'm not used to fishing braid for oh my gosh. I'm not used to fishing braid for trout. They just absolutely hammer it. Dang. Messed up on that. See, here's a situation where I probably should have been fishing it from upstream. Casting down to it. Suddenly got windy out. Good fish. Pretty decent one. Might be the biggest one of the day, honestly. Come here, girl. Oh yeah. Nice brownie. Just absolutely fat. I mean, they are doing well. Starting to spring off thick. There, I'm lipping trout. That's a great way to get a hook, get a ripped lip from their teeth. Nice. I brought a few other spinner options, but I mean, I feel like I would be stupid to switch from this one right now. One thing I've found out, as much as like the dressed treble hooks look nice, and trust me, I feel like I enjoy making them with like squirrel hair and UV yarn. But one thing I've noticed is if you have too much of a dressed treble back there, those fish are going to target at that, and they're going to be swiping at that. By having it bare like that, the fish are always targeting the spinner itself, and even if they're biting short and missing this, those hooks are behind them right there. I think I just saw the trout I just caught swim back up into that pool. It knows where home is. So here's one of those situations where I've got deeper water and stuff like right here, and instead of approaching it from downstream, I snuck around it to be able to cast down to it, just on land, so I'm not mucking up the water or anything. Oh, lifted one out of there, dang it. I knew there was going to be a fish in that. Just had a fish chase me up on this flat. There he is again. Dang. There's a nice fish. Had a feeling there was going to be one right below there. Oh yeah. Come on. Man, this rod loads up so nice. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Beautiful trout. Let's get this guy girl back. Probably a female. Loving it, man. Right where I expected one. And here's his little brother. Where's his big brother? This isn't really the type of stream that I'm expecting to catch, 20 inchers in by any means. So all things considered, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. I mainly just wanted to get out here and sample this rod. And it's definitely getting sampled. I was kind of like, if I come out here and catch 3 or 4 trout, that'd be a success, but it's turning into more than a success. Ah, now that is a bad cast. Oh my gosh, that's a miracle. I'm sure that was all the skill of this rod. So right now what I'm kind of dealing with, which might be a struggle, is I have my braid with a little knot to a fluoroleader, and I left probably, I don't know, what is that, 4 feet? So the problem is if I reel up past that leader, I have that slight little knot in my guides, which can kind of affect my cast. That's what I'm blaming that last cast on, into the tree anyway. But no, I don't know if I should shorten that up. I would just hate also that little knot no, caught another tree. That little knot constantly rubbing on the guides going in there. I don't know if that's bad or not. Like, I have a buddy who fishes, buddy Adam, he ties right to braid. So I don't know, maybe I could just tie right to braid. I guess when they're chasing down spinners, like, it's not like they're that spooky. They're probably aggressive where I could. probably just shorten my leader up a little bit. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I would say one of the best things about using braid to a fluoro leader is you spool your braid up on your line here, and then every time you retie, you're not shortening your amount of line on your spool, if that makes sense. Because one of the most important things for me trout fishing is a pretty good gear ratio where I don't have to reel super fast to keep that spinner moving downstream. Casts pretty far. Oh my gosh, absolutely thumped it. Drag maybe a little loose. No. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. Yes. Yes. I've never been more excited about catching a tree branch. Man, look at that rod bend. St. Croix, I have never owned one of your fishing rods before, but it's fun. Wow, look at the colors on this guy. Just gorgeous. Barely hooked. I realize like every time I catch a brown trout, I say, wow, what a beautiful fish, but like it makes me realize every one of them is beautiful. I don't think I've ever, is it even possible to catch a trout and be like, dang, what an ugly fish? Like, I don't think that's actually possible. Jeez. That was a cool eat. Had him come swipe at it from under that bank. Missed it the first time, came back and ate about 2 feet in front of my face. You know what? I'm going to contradict myself. For once, that is a very subpar looking brown trout. Like, there's nothing about that brown trout that makes me be like, wow. Oh, dang. Okay, never mind. I didn't see his top dorsal, but I mean, definitely not as colorful as some. This wind is kind of getting bad. Makes me grateful I didn't go out on the river today and instead I'm fishing trout. You know what? Once again, pretty, like, not stunning brown trout. I gotta say that about more of them so that when I do, oh my gosh, do catch a stunning one, I mean it. This copper is just dynamite for me. Man, I was just working that perfect right along that edge. Haven't taken the net out in a bit. Oh. Come here. Look at the white on that one. See you, buddy. Oh, that was a good fish. Dang it. Oh my God. First drag puller. Did you see that thing come up and just, oh my gosh, just absolutely crush me. Oh my goodness, come here. Oh, he's hooked great too. Look at that. Oh, let's go. I knew there could be a big one in there. I just knew it. Oh, wow. What an absolute stud buck, man, for this little stream on ultralight. Oh, yeah. That is incredible. I'm getting a picture of that one. Just an absolute specimen of a fish. Let me get this guy back. Go hang out, buddy. Let's go. Oh man, what a fish. What I did on that when I cast out in this hole, and I had cast in that hole a lot of times, and instead of reeling right away, I just let the spinner sink down. Like I casted like that, and I really let it sink, you know, just to get down to the bottom, because I think it's a pretty deep pool. And apparently got the job done. He pushed it right up on this shelf. There's this shelf of sand, it's all deep here, and he pushed it right up there. This wind is brutal. Jeez. Can't even cast the spinner straight. Once again, downfall of an ultralight is casting in conditions like this. That spinner, that rod control can be pretty tough. Battling the wind and a pretty nice brown trout right now. This rod just handles them so well. I was used to that stiffer rod, which in a way I liked for hook sets, but they just, I feel like once they're hooked, they just don't get off. I mean, that fish wasn't getting off regardless, but sun setting, brown trout catching. Oh yeah. Get that rod load up, man. It's awesome. Well, made it back to the car. It is windy as can be. And I have Pichos. These things are the best, man. Love those. That wind was brutal, but yeah, that wraps up an awesome little outing. I fished probably, I don't even know what time it is. Fished probably 2 hours and caught a bunch of fish on the new St. Croix rod. So if you're looking to purchase it, I mean, I'm all in, but what else would you expect for a $150 rod? Like, you can probably buy this a very similar rod. I could have had any fishing rod, caught just as many fish, I would say. I think the key thing is, if you get an ultralight like that, make sure you put braid on it. Otherwise, if I was using mono, I just feel like my hook sets wouldn't have been as good on it. So if you're still watching this far, thanks for watching, and hope you make sure you're subscribed. You will be seeing lots of trout fishing with that exact rod this year. Till next time.